The importance of listening to your inner child. This Tuesday, I came to my studio and had my lunch on this table. And I realized that this table, it's not very pretty. I've had it in my painting studio maybe 5 years. It has paint splatters, but not in a cool way because they are only on the other side. So I decided why not to paint it. First I had to clean it up a little bit and use the sandpaper. Also used the painting tape to cover the sides. Then I used the gesso in the surface to prime it for the acrylic paints. This has a lot to do with the listening your inner child. Not the gessoing or the painting tape, but the fact that I got an inspiration to paint this table and I decided to go for it rather than think it rationally and think, is this something that I could sell? No, I'm not gonna sell this table. This is just for me, just for my enjoyment, the whole painting process, and then enjoying the table after that. When painting is your profession or art in any way, it's still so much fun, but it's also your profession, so a lot of times you need to be like a business person as well. But in between planning the exhibitions and grant applications and whatnot, it's also so important for artists to cultivate their inner child. They have this space that it's their part of their profession to spend a lot of time with their creative side. And the thing is that everybody has their creative side, the inner child in them, because everyone, I'm sure you painted, drew, danced when you were a kid, right? Then first at some age you felt like you didn't have a talent to sing a song or dance or draw, like there were others that were better at that than you. After that age, it was harder for you to come back, even though you loved painting or singing or dancing, or probably all of them. It might also be that you had to grow up a bit too fast, that there was maybe it wasn't that you didn't feel like you were talented enough, but just that there wasn't time or money for you to be a kid anymore, to enjoy those things that you enjoyed as a little kid. You had to grow up, be an adult, be a smart adult who is doing only those smart things, those adult things that adults do, like earning a living and raising a family. And while those things are important, I'm not saying that they aren't. But it's very likely that those things are not the only things you're doing, that you feel that there's this space inside you that needs filling up. Filling up, I mean that you need to have fun somewhere else as well. Of course, job and family can be fun, but then there's also hobbies, shopping, partying, all these things that are recommended for adults to have fun with. In middle of this grown-up life, being an adult, you might still feel a bit empty. And you might feel envious of people who are having more money than you, people who have bigger houses, who travel more. Again, all things that are fun and you should pursue them and want them for yourself. But don't think that they are the things that are making you happy in the end, because they won't. Who are the happiest creatures, people in this world? Do you have an idea who they are? I'm pretty sure they're kids. And also pets and maybe very old people as well. These people don't think about the status anymore, or yet. They mostly live in the moment. In the moment, they want to enjoy. They want to have fun. And they do things that they feel like it's fun, that the action itself is fun and not so much about the result. Like a kid, before she learns to compare her artwork to the artwork of her neighbor, it's just about the creation itself that is the joy. Coming back to my table project, most of the paintings I do is figurative because I love painting faces and animals, for example. But sometimes painting abstract is so much fun, and I feel like when I'm painting abstract, I'm even closer to my inner child. For this table, I chose abstract work also because I didn't want to have a table where I would have somebody staring at me, some beautiful person there, and then I would put my coffee cup on her head. So that didn't feel nice. So that's also why I chose to go abstract with this table of mine, but also just because I wanted to wing it. Like, first, I was thinking about, I even made a sketch for making this ornament on the table, like symmetrical ornament that I've painted the carpets, for example. You can see part of my carpets there on the floor. My inner child was just, I want to have fun with this table, and so I did. With many of those grown up adult ways of having fun, like partying and shopping, the fun and enjoyment is very short. Like, it's a sad fact that the biggest enjoyment we get from shopping is the moment we want and shop it. And after we have that purchase, we have that new phone or that new shirt in our closet, it's not bringing us happiness for very long. I wish it would, but we get used to it. We are so adaptable as people that we get used to things so fast. And we all know that as much fun as partying can be, the next morning might not be so enjoyable. Also, these two things demand money, they take money. And while it's great for the economy that we are using the money, but it can also make you feel hangover or feeling regret, which is not a fun feeling to feel. Most of the ways children have fun are free, or at least very cheap. For example, dancing to your favorite song, or singing along, or creating art with your food. I know adults said don't play with your food, but now you're an adult and you can play with your food. If there's snow where you live, you can make a snowman, or draw something on the sand, or collect beautiful rocks or leaves. All the things that are exciting for kids can be that for adults as well. In the video right now, I'm mixing acrylic liquid medium, blue paint, and a little bit of water. Kids know that their most important task is to be happy. But I believe it's also the most important task for adults as well. But there tends to be this kind of pressure of not being happy as an adult, that life is a struggle and it should be a struggle, that we are not entitled to be happy. We might wish happiness for our loved ones and the people around us, but sometimes when it comes to ourselves, we think we are not deserving of it. Still, if we would remember that we are the loved ones of our loved ones and they would wish happiness for us, so maybe the biggest help we can give to our loved ones is to take care of ourselves. And with taking care, I mean enjoying every day. So I'm saying that your inner child is kind of the personal trainer you have for your mind, for your own mind, before you have any bigger issues. Just like you need to sleep enough and eat and exercise enough to keep your physical health intact, you need to keep your mental health intact. When you are grasping the little joys of everyday life, that keeps you in the better mental state that you make the right choices when it comes to your career or your family. When you're feeling good, you want everybody to feel good. You smile to strangers and you cheer up your colleagues, and you realize that we are all in this planet together and we should have a chance and want to make this the best place. Listening to your inner child and cultivating it also makes you more intuitive, because we have all this kind of knowledge in our head and body that we don't acknowledge with our thinking brain. For example, when you're creating an abstract piece, you kind of feel the energy, the composition. It's hard to rationalize the choices you make when you're creating an abstract piece. It's more like you go with the movement. You're like a flower dancing in the wind. So beautiful and completely unique and in the moment without trying to impress anybody. Here I'm shaking a Amsterdam acrylics bottle, but it was actually empty and I just put a little bit white in there, also the acrylic liquid medium and water, and shaked it there in the bottle and then used it. In this painting process, I used whatever props I had in the studio and went with them. And since I used so much liquid medium and water as well, I wanted to tilt the table to get this kind of movement in the paint. This whole process was me having fun, making a mess. And for sure, not all abstract art is about making a mess. There can be so controlled pieces as well. But for me, because abstract art isn't my main way of creating art, it's kind of like improvising, freestyling. If abstract art is your profession or you aim it to be, you probably need to be a bit more controlled, that you know your process so you can recreate a similar kind of pieces. So you don't have just one of each, but you have a collection of pieces that go together style-wise. We could compare it to having a dance class where you're learning a choreography and everybody's doing the same dance and you're doing the same dance, or then improvising to music, just feeling the vibe and enjoying yourself. The only thing that I had planned was the colors, because I wanted it to go along with my carpets and also with my paintings. One more thing that came to my mind about inner child is the fact that kids, and this is also applies for dogs and cats and probably other pets as well, that they know they're loved. They don't ask for the love. They are not needy of the love. They just know that they are lovable and they are loved. And if they want to come sit in your lap, they come sit in your lap. They don't ask permission before that, and they are not offended if you say no. They don't take it personally. They know that they are in charge of their own mood. And this is something that we adults should remember as well. If we want something, we should just go for it and ask for it. If it's not available for us at that moment, then we just back it up and come again later. And don't hold it against ourselves or the other person. My table got ready. I'm gonna add some kind of furniture varnish on top so it can handle the stress the table needs to handle. So it's also time to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you cultivate your inner child, or is there some things that you loved doing as a kid but you haven't done them anymore. Likes and subscribing to my channel helps out a lot, so thank you for doing that as well. I'm Elli and my funny accent comes from Finland, Helsinki. Thank you for listening to me and watching my videos. Until next time, inspire and be inspired. Bye.